Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! The Cowboys win it! Woo! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Saturday football review for round 15 of the 2022 NRL season. And to help me review all three games, even though he didn't see all the games, it is the great rugby league history once again on the channel. Dean, how are you, mate?
I'm sound as a pound. It's good to be on the show again.
Mate, it's good to have you on the channel once again. I know it's pretty hard to get you on a regular basis due to the time zone, and you know, if you're working or if you're not working, it can be a bit tough sometimes. But mate, it's good to have you on. And the Eels, well, on Monday, everybody made fun of them. Everybody was taking memes for Parramatta. Everyone was giving it to them. And they turned it around and they beat the Roosters at Bankwest Stadium tonight. Are you surprised about the result? Because the Eels last week were terrible, but they really turned it around tonight, didn't they?
I am surprised by the results, especially against Sydney Roosters. We don't have a good record against them historically. But it's a perfect response to win that match. We had to show something after that embarrassing loss against Canterbury.
Yeah, that loss against Canterbury on Monday was tough. And Monday to Saturday, it is a fairly short turnaround. So I'd imagine Brad Up gave him a bit of a fucking spray at training and things were good. And I think the difference in this game tonight was Marcus Sevo actually getting the ball in his hands. And he did have a couple of, things in that game that he probably shouldn't have done. But I thought Sevo tonight played a really good game of football, and he was a nightmare for the Roosters. He caused all sorts of dramas. He was outstanding once again.
Without doubt.
Good to see Sevo back. We will get into the Eels Roosters review in just a sec, but I want to say hello to everybody in the live chat. I hope everyone's doing well. We've got 14 people here at the moment. I'm sure the chat will build as we get into all the three games from today. Hello to CJ Moxley. Hello to Electrical Dust. Luke Melbourne Storm fan. Faraz. Jaden Lambert. SS Storm fan. The great Jason Reader is here once again.
Cousin of Jack Reacher.
The chat is building up. It's good to see. King Julian is here as well. Hello, King Julian. Hope you're well. Also, I'll just say quickly, if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. Super Chat is active in the live chat as we speak, and PayPal was also available in the description below. PayPal was better because the money goes into my bank account instantly. But whatever you guys want to do, if you want to donate, feel free to do so. It is completely up to you. We'll go back to the very first game. I know you didn't see this game, Dean, but I think we all expected this. Cronulla Sharks 18, Gold Coast Titans 10. I thought Cronulla would have won this game by 20 to 30 points, but the Gold Coast showed up for it. But fuck, they're hard to watch, the Gold Coast.
I went Cronulla 1-12. I thought the Gold Coast would show up, and especially after they went bottom of the table last week, that would have been alarm bells ringing for them. So they had to do something, but they're up against a pretty tough Cronulla side there at Coffs Harbour.
The thing is, too, like, obviously it was at Coffs Harbour, a neutral venue for both sides. The Sharks took the game here. The Sharks took a home game to Coffs Harbour last year, and they put 40 on the Gold Coast. And it was a weird old game because the Sharks got out to a 10-0 lead, and I'm sitting there going, well, fuck, mate, this is going to be 30-40. The Gold Coast are going to get flogged. And then I got back in the game. 10-all at one point there, and then Cronulla got I think I got a penalty goal, and then I got a try or something like that. The thing is, as well, right? The Sharks, they're supposed to be a genuine contender. I guess some people, I reckon they're a top 8 side. I don't know. I don't think they're a contender yet. They haven't beaten any of the top sides to prove to me that they are a contender. But they played like shit today, the Sharks, and they still win. Are the Gold Coast a chance for the Wooden Spoon, Dean?
I think definitely. At the moment, there's about 3 or 4 sides that you could throw in there for the Wooden Spoon, and they're definitely one of them.
I think that this is the first year in a couple of years that the Wooden Spoon has been so wide open. There's about 4 teams that can win it. You've got Gold Coast, Canterbury, West Tigers, you've got New Zealand, and you've got the Gold Coast. Anyone can win the Wooden Spoon at this point. It's so open, isn't it?
It's been, I think the last time it was this open was probably 2018 because you had Para, North Queensland, Canterbury, and Manly were down there as well.
Man, Trent Barrett's Manly, that's right. Yeah. I think the biggest problem with the Gold Coast at the moment, Dean, I think it's the halves. And the spine as well. I mean, 1 week you've got Brimson playing fullback, 1 week you've got him playing 5'8". Then you've got Paul Turner playing in the halves with Toby Sexton. Aaron Clark at dummy half is just dreadful. And I think it says a lot about the Gold Coast when Beau Fermor is your best player.
Well, I think the Gold Coast are regretting letting go of Jamal Fogarty for one thing.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely regretting it. Even with Jamal Fogarty, I still reckon that they wouldn't be near the top 8, but they've gotten so much worse. And then I'm not sure what your thoughts on this, but they brought Toby Sexton through the system and they thought, okay, Sexton and Brimson, they're ready to be the young great halves. Because they're going so shit, they panic by Kieran Foran to mentor Sexton, but they won't admit that letting go of Jamal Fogarty was a mistake. Are the Gold Coast doing the same shit as always, just going backwards?
Just it seems that way. I mean, ever since the first Gold Coast club in 1988, things have never. They've just always been that kind of club where nothing's ever gone right. I think. I mean, they had them 2 decent seasons, 2009, 2010, but besides that, it's always.
If there was ever a year that the Gold Coast could win the comp, it was 2010. But fuck me, ever since that, they've never ever gone close to even winning the grand final. I mean, 2016 they got into the finals by default because the Parramatta Surrey Cup bullshit. But even that they were fucking treading water. And last year that they imagine winning 10 games and getting in the finals last year. I mean, this year. I reckon 13 wins will probably get you in the finals, team. You reckon?
I think so. If you can win half your games or more than that.
Well, you got 25 games in a season. Every team plays 24 games because of the bye. 12 wins might get you 8th. 13 wins will cement your spot in the 8, I believe. The Gold Coast are gone, I think, Dean. Their record is 3 wins and 12 losses. Can the Gold Coast play finals or are they gone?
It's gonna take a miracle for them to make the finals now, I think.
I think they're gone. I can't see them have any chance of making the 8. Now, I think I put a pen from about 2 months ago, and mathematically, I mean, it's the big word, isn't it? Mathematically, they can still get in there, but it's not going to happen. They're done. They're absolutely gone. They're fucked.
Another interesting thing, I think I posted at a few places, is that ground that they played at today, that holds the world record for a score in football. I know this is a rugby league show, but Australia beat America Samoa 31-0 in a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Well, Coffs Harbour's ground, I mean, if I had got a decent work pay this week, I probably could have went to this game, but I missed a couple of shifts the other week. And look, I'm glad I didn't go to this game because it was a bludger. It wasn't a great game of football at all. The Sharks, obviously, did what they had to do to win the game. It was an ugly win, but they did what they had to do in the end. I know you didn't say the game, Dean, but
Just
from
the
what
highlights. Just the
from what you
highlights.
saw from what you saw in the highlights, who would you say was the man of the match?
Oh, I don't know.
It's very hard to pick.
I noticed that Nicholas Hines was involved in a lot of things.
Yep, no doubt about that.
Katoa had another good game there on the wing, scoring for fun again.
Yeah, he's a freak, that Katoa. Absolute freak. Look, I think any of them would be a good choice, but for me, I'm gonna give it to Matt Moylan. I know you're not a fan of Matt Moylan, but I thought he played well. Scored a try, set up a try. Should have had 2 tries, but the obstruction rule is so complicated nowadays. It's a fucking disgrace. I was saying to my dad when I was watching the game, I said, 10 years ago, this would have been a try for sure, no problem. But even Gus Gould on Twitter said that the obstruction rule's over ref nowadays, and I think we all agree with that. But yeah, I think Matt Moylan's my man of the match, but Nico Hines or Katoa was also another very good choice. They both played very well. Katoa was a very good player. Even Will Kennedy to an extent. He was also very good. The Gold Coast best player today was Beau Fermor. Even though he had 3 errors, he was probably their best player. Which is sad.
Will Mr. Kennedy.
Will
Mr. Kennedy.
Well, the Sharks win 18-10 over the Titans, and the Gold Coast, enjoy your wooden spoon for now, you bastards.
No.
All right. We'll get to the other game, which was basically fucking football training. Penrith Panthers 40, New Zealand Warriors 6. The Warriors showed absolutely nothing until the last 5 minutes. Penrith, Dean, they're the favourites to win the comp. Everyone thinks they'll go back to back. Do you see Penrith winning the comp this year, or do you think someone else is going to knock them off?
I think they can go back to back, but as we've seen in the NRL ever, it's very hard to go back to back these days.
One injury and it's all done, isn't it? One injury is all it takes.
Right, there's still plenty. There's still plenty of the season to go, and anything can happen. So, but at this stage, Penrith are definitely the team to beat.
I think they're the favourites, and I think they are the team to beat. And if you want to win the comp this year, you're going to have to go through Penrith to win the bastard, because they are the team to beat. And there is 10 rounds to go till the finals, and I think Penrith will finish in the top 2. But, for example, I hope it doesn't happen. If Jerome Luai went down with an injury for 6 weeks, if Nathan Cleary or Isaiah Yeo were out for 4 to 6 weeks, and I don't know if they could win the comp without Cleary or Luai or even Isaiah Yeo. But they are a very good side. They have the best depth in the comp. They have the best team in the comp, and I think it's their comp to lose, Dean. What do you reckon? Their comp to lose?
If they finish top 2, they guaranteed a home final, and
guaranteed 2 home finals.
Whoever they play in that first week at Penrith, it's going to be very tough for the opposition to beat them. So that I think they're guaranteed at least a preliminary final.
Yeah, it seems like that, mate. I can't imagine Penrith going out in straight sets. I just can't imagine it, unless they get heaps of injuries.
It's been a long time since a minor premier's gone out straight sets. I think the last one was St George in 2009.
It probably was. I can't think of the last team that did it. I mean, I know in 2010, Penrith finished second and they went out in straight sets. But besides St George and Penrith finishing top 2 in 2009, 2010, I can't really remember last time someone went out straight sets. Maybe. Oh, God, no, I can't remember. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since this happened. Try scores from the Panthers Warriors game today. Moses Leota scored the first try, which I did tip, by the way, on my tipping video. So if you threw money on Moses Leota first try score that I tipped, you should send me $5 for that, because that was a exclusive Nick Bet tip. Try scorers also, Dylan Edwards got one, Talon May got one, Brian Toto got one, Yo got one, Liam Martin got one, and Brian Toto got one at the end, and Josh Curran got one for the Warriors with 5 minutes to go. the Warriors, Dean, it was their last game in Australia, the last home game in Australia. How excited do you reckon the New Zealand Warriors are to head back to New Zealand and play home games back in New Zealand?
I think very excited. I think a lot of them players are just going to be so happy to go back there, and God help whoever they're playing in that first match, because there's going to be a lot of emotion, and
Yep,
I reckon there'll probably be a sold out crowd there. And
sure.
I think they're playing West Tigers first game back, aren't they?
Yep, 2 weeks from now,
Mm.
July 3rd, Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m., Mount Smart Stadium, Warriors and Tigers. Tigers, a sacrificial lamb for that game.
Rest in peace, West Tigers, I think, at the moment.
If I was the West Tigers, I would not want to be going to New Zealand for the first game of the year. You don't want to do it.
I think if it weren't for COVID and all that, their first match back in New Zealand was scheduled against Canterbury, and that was last year.
Yes, and they would have killed Canterbury because
definitely.
They were shit house last year. Sean Johnson, Dean. We all know he's had a very good NRL career. He's been pretty good in the NRL. Won a Golden Boot. He's had a great career. I don't know about you, but as of late, Sean Johnson's performances have been terrible. The Warriors brought Sean Johnson back to the club for leadership, experience, game management, kicking game, controlling, all that. He has not delivered any of it. I know they're playing Penrith, and I guess it can be an excuse because you're playing Penrith, but has Sean Johnson lost his touch?
I probably have to agree with that, especially when you read social media, the amount of people that comment and say, get Sean Johnson off the pitch and get him out of the club. And I know initially, I think Warriors NRL fanatics didn't want him back at the club, but then he kind of went, I'm prepared to give him a second chance and all that.
He's not going too good at the moment, Sean Johnson. They did debut a young kid at 5'8" by the name of Ronald Volkman.
The most German name ever.
Lots of people are saying, he had a great debut. He did awesome in a beaten side. It's like, okay, he had a go. He did not play great, so everyone stopped saying that. He played fucking average like the entire team. But he will get better when the Warriors play shitter teams. The Warriors are a mess. They don't have a coach. Stacey Jones is the interim coach. Dean, do you think Stacey Jones could be a good full-time coach for the Warriors?
Well, he's been coaching the New South Wales Cup New Zealand side for a while.
Yep.
And he's their greatest ever player, and he understands the club and he understands what it's about, and he's been there. So I think he could make the jump up to a full-time coach, because some of the names that are being tossed up to go to like Christian Wolf and that.
Yeah.
Why would Christian Wolf quit St Helens, one of the best teams going at the moment, to go to New Zealand?
I said on the podcast the other day, I said Christian Wolf would be a perfect signing, because I think Christian Wolf can attract some of the St Helens players over there, make them better. I think plus he is coaching Tonga as well, so wouldn't be a bad move if they did it. But like you said, why would you want to leave St Helens? They've won 3 grand finals in a row, and he's doing a great job over there. But the Warriors' job, whoever takes it, whether it's Stacey Jones. See, the problem I have with Stacey Jones coaching the Warriors full time is it's a bit like Andrew Johns at Newcastle when he was there. Joey Johns is not a full time coach. I can't imagine Stacey Jones as the full time coach as well. I think he's more of an assistant, which is a massive step going from assistant to full time. It can be difficult, and I think Stacey Jones behind the scenes as an assistant or having a different role would be a lot better for the Warriors. So whoever does take the Warriors head coaching job has a big job on their fucking plate. But the Warriors, we need them to be strong. We need them to be a top 8 team, even a top 4 team, because we need New Zealand Rugby League to be strong. And if New Zealand Rugby League's not strong, the Warriors are going bad. It makes New Zealand Rugby League weaker. it gives rugby union a bigger advantage than what they already have over in New Zealand. So we need the Warriors to be so much better than what they are producing. And I'm disappointed with the Warriors because I thought they were better than this. I did have them as wooden spinners at the start of the year, but they did not look like a wooden spoon team 8 weeks ago, but they're fucking terrible now. They're fucking awful.
I had them around 11th or 12th, I think.
That's the same with the Warriors every year, isn't it? It's between fucking 10 and 14 with the Warriors. It's never anything great. Their last finals appearance was 2018, but they went out the first round.
They've only made the finals once since 2011.
That's fucked. That's almost West Tigers fucking worthy. Except for the 1 year where they snuck in there. But come on, Warriors, get your shit together. We need them to improve. As for the Panthers, Dane, well, we all know what they are. Top 4, top 2 team to beat. Too good for the Warriors this afternoon over there, up there at Redcliffe. Man of the match performance. I mean, you can pick pretty much anybody. I'm going to give the man of the match to Dylan Edwards. What about yourself?
I probably have to agree with you on that one.
He's underrated, isn't he, Edwards? He does a job, doesn't he?
No, he's not the quickest or flashiest player, but he just does his job, and he's never going to be like a Tedesco or out like that. But
definitely not. See, I think Dylan Edwards suits the Panthers system so well at fullback. If you put him on a team like Canterbury or a team like West Tigers, he'd really struggle. But with Penrith and that system and the way they play, he's just doing a great job there at the moment. So Panthers, too good for the Warriors, 40 points to 6. Let's hope the Warriors can improve in the future. But Penrith, once again, it was basically football training for them, just far too good in the end. And the final game for Super Saturday, down there at CommBank Stadium at Parramatta. Parramatta Eels 26, Sydney Roosters 16. Eels got thumped by 30 by the Bulldogs on Monday. A massive turnaround for Parramatta, beating the Roosters 26-16. Dean, what'd you make of Parramatta? Very good performance tonight.
I was very surprised with the performance, but they had to show something after that loss against Canterbury Bankstown. It's a perfect response, so I'm really happy at the moment for the club winning the game.
It was a very important win for Parramatta. They didn't start off the game off well. Sawali got the first try, and I think we can all agree that Joseph Sawali is getting better the more football he plays. He's a very good young kid, and the future was very bright for him. Roosters got off to a fly, and then Dylan Brown hit back with a try. Then there was a try to Isaiah Papali'i, who went through. So Gaveston got one in the corner from a beautiful Sean Lane offload, and then there was a try. The Tupanua went through this. Fuck, it was a good try. I got out of my seat and started clapping for it. I was that impressed. The line that Satoru Tupanua ran, went through and scored. I thought it was a class try. Then there was a try to Savo, and then Reid Marnie as well. Half time it was 26-12 favour of Parramatta, and I was getting vibes of Magic Round then, because if you go back to Magic Round, Roosters led 25-6, and Eels came back and only got done by 7 in the end. Roosters came back. Were you a bit worried when the Roosters got back in that second half?
Well, at half time, I went, the game's not over by any stretch. A club like Eastern Suburbs can score 3 or 4 tries just like that. You can never write them off. And being a Parramatta supporter all my life, and it's always been a trend throughout the years that we throw games away, we can't hold on to a lead. So I was just hoping that they could hold on for the second half.
They did well in defence. I mean, Parramatta didn't score a point in the second half, but they didn't need to. The Roosters scored in that second half with Sawali, got his second try of the game. The Roosters obviously didn't have Luke Keary, which was a blow. And Sam Walker and Drew Hutchison were the halves tonight. I thought they were fairly okay, but when you've got Tedesco, when you've got Joseph Manu, Tili Tupanua, all these sort of players, Sam Walker, you can come back and win the game. But I thought Parramatta's defence in that second half was just class. They did well.
And some of the tries that they scored were very good. It was some very good hands and ball work there. And
the try that Reid Marnie scored was outstanding.
It were, and I mean, the only try in the second half to Sawali, I thought it were a bit of a lucky try, that one, because it took a ricochet off Gutherson, and then it kind of did like a leg spinner, an off break in goal there, and he dived on it. So
yeah, it was quite lucky. The Joseph Sawali second try was brilliant as well. You know, the chip over the top and the bounce back, and fuck man, that's class. There's nothing better than the chip and chase, because I don't think we don't say enough of it. You go back in the day, you know, the likes of Preston Campbell, Matt Bowen, Reece Wesser, Jonathan Thurston, Darren Lockyer, all these sort of players, chip over the top. You see it every week. Now you probably see it once every fortnight, and I just love the chip and chase when players do it, because it's so entertaining and it just brings me back to the, you know, childhood days and whatnot. So everybody, keep doing the chip and chase. It's fucking awesome. I love to see it. Awesome.
Yeah, I think today rugby league's very structured, whereas back then it weren't. And because I think even if you're up by 20 or 30 points and you do something like that now, the coach tells you off.
Yeah, no, that's true. If you're down 14-0 with 5 to go and you do a chip over the top and it doesn't come off, you are going to get sprayed, which is fucked.
I remember Alan Langer as well. He used to grub it past people.
Yep. No, he did. He did. The Roosters, Dean, they are fucking struggling a bit this year. They're 7 wins, 8 losses. They're in ninth spot on the ladder at the moment. What's the problem with the Roosters this year, you reckon? Is it combinations that haven't worked out? Is it signing too many big-name players that aren't working? I mean, Connor Watson's gone there and hasn't really fitted in. Momorowski was dropped tonight for Billy Smith. Keary and Walker aren't working. What seems to be the biggest drama at the Roosters in your opinion?
I just think they're just having an off year and things are not clicking. And I think they've had a couple of injuries as well to some players. It could be an attitude thing. Maybe they're going out some weeks and just thinking, we can beat these easy. But it's not like that. I mean, in 2016, if you remember, they had a really shocking year, and then the next year they come back and
top 2.
They come second.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, look, I'm a bit worried about the Roosters a little bit. I had them in top 4. I think I had them second or third at the start of the season. I might have had them first. I don't fucking remember. I
think I had them fourth. If I were doing a predictor, I had them fourth.
I definitely had them in the top 4 somewhere, and they have been really disappointing. They are 7 wins, 8 losses. Things just haven't clicked. I don't think. I think Momorowski hasn't worked out for them. Walker and Keary don't work, and both of them have history of injury, especially Luke Keary. If Luke Keary gets a concussion, he's out for 4 weeks, and next minute, Sam Walker's supposed to be Brad Fittler of the Roosters. So it's quite tough. And next year they do get Brendan Smith, and we all know, well, I think he's a fucking arsehole, and I think you do as well, Dean, but he will make a big difference to the Roosters next year, because
definitely
at the moment, the Roosters don't even have a top 10 hooker in the game. They don't have a top 10 hooker, which is hurting them. And Connor Watson, I don't know what he's meant to be playing, lock or hooker. He's all over the place. Obviously, Victor Radley's not there at the moment as well, and things are not good at the Roosters. But yes or no, will the Roosters play finals?
I think they will.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm still confident on them making the top 8.
I'm not putting a ban for them. I mean, if I'm looking at the ladder right now, I think Penrith will play finals. Melbourne will be there. I think the Cowboys will be there. Sharks will get in. Brisbane will get in. Parramatta will probably get in there somewhere. And I think between Souths, St. George, Roosters, Manly, and Canberra, those 5 teams will probably fight out 7 and 8.
Right.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think the clubs below them, like Canterbury, West Tigers, and New Zealand, and all them, I think their season's either done or hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
So, but I think with Parramatta winning tonight, there's a gap, but there's a 4-point gap now between them and South and St George, I think.
Yep. So Parramatta now go to 20 points, and South and St George are both 7 and 8 on 16 points. So that win tonight was pretty important for Parramatta. Now just trying to get away from them a little bit. But yeah, it seems like the top 6 is almost locked in stone. Almost. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we'll fight for 7 and 8. So Rabbitohs, Dragons, Roosters, Seagulls, Raiders will probably fight out 7 and 8. You can put a red pen for the Titans, the Bulldogs, Warriors, Tigers. Newcastle are still 3 games away from the 8, but if they lose tomorrow and go to 4 wins, 10 losses, it might be a bit of a tough ask for Newcastle to get around that 8. But you never know. Like, there's always a team that comes from that bottom 4 that makes a charge in that last 8 weeks of the season where they come from nowhere, try to push for the 8. So don't want to go off too early, but Newcastle might be that team where they might make a late charge for that top 8, but it's a big ask.
Well, Zed Tank 99 would love that.
Aye. Well, it's weird. It's weird with Newcastle because they're 2 losses away from bottom 4, but they're 3 wins away from top 8. So I'm not going to put Newcastle with the Titans and Bulldogs and Warriors, but I think Newcastle are probably just in the middle of a slight chance of top 8 or a chance of bottom 4. It's hard to really say. But a game against Cameron tomorrow is very fucking big for Newcastle.
Poor Zed Tank 99, he left the game the other week. And he left at half time.
I would have too, I reckon. That was fucking embarrassing, that game. I think it was 32-0 something or 26-0. I would have left as well. I don't know about you, but if I was at a game and it was 26-0 or 30-0 at half time, I would have left as well, I reckon.
I think I've only ever left a match once at half time.
What game was that?
I think it was 2006 or 2007. We were down 24-0 at half time against Penrith. I think it were. And I walked out and they went, are you going for a fag here as you pass? And I went, no, I'm leaving. And they went, there's still another half of football to go. And I went, no, fuck, I'm just going.
Fucking game's over, you fucking dumb security guy.
I think we ended up losing 44-12 or something.
I would. Good decision on leaving then. Good decision on leaving. Parramatta, Dean, obviously a little bit inconsistent this year. They have beaten Melbourne, Penrith and Penrith. They have lost to the Tigers and the Bulldogs. They have been quite inconsistent. They have lost to the Sharks. They have been quite inconsistent.
Well, a lot of people on social media are seeing it like it's never happened before, but I've supported the club my whole life, and I remember even in the 1990s, we were losing the western suburbs in South Sydney because, believe it or not, back then South Sydney was shite. And then we'd go out and we'd beat Brisbane or we'd beat Canterbury or something. It's been a problem that the club's had for about 30 years now.
No doubt about it. Just a bit of a random question. Parramatta are currently in 6. Can you see them finishing in the top 4?
Probably not.
Probably not?
I think probably 5th or 6th is the highest you'll see him finish.
I think gives her a chance for top 4 because when I look at the top 4, you're now equaled 4th with Brisbane and Cronulla. You're 1 game away from the Cowboys for 3rd. Obviously, the Cowboys haven't had the bye yet, so when the Cowboys get the bye, they'll go to 24 points and whatnot. But Brisbane will definitely be affected by Origin. The Sharks have proven to be quite inconsistent as well. So I'm not ruling out Parramatta for top 4. I reckon they'll be between 4th and 6th anyway. I think 6th will be the lowest they get, and I think 4th will be the highest they get. But I think they're a chance. Can they win the comp if they get top 4?
I guess they're a chance, but I don't really see it happening. To be fair, I think I think there's just a couple of teams that are just a step ahead,
like Penrith, for example.
But it would be nice to at least make a preliminary final or a grand final.
I think that's the goal for Parramatta. I mean, obviously, our good friend Trev from Shut the Gates, and if everybody doesn't know, Shut the Gates YouTube channel's been hacked by some fucking arsehole. So, hopefully, I'll get the channel back. But
Hopefully.
Trev from Shut the Gates said at the start of the year that if Parramatta don't get past week 2, it's just the same old shit.
It'll be the fourth year in a row.
It'll just be a waste of time. I mean, if you make the finals every year but go out week 2 and it happens year after year, it's like, well, the season doesn't matter if we don't get past week 2, and I think it makes a great point in saying that.
But I remember in the late 90s and early 2000s and throughout the 2000s, we got past the second week easy, but getting past the preliminary final was the problem. We lost 5 preliminary finals.
That's fucked.
Aye.
South Sydney just had that same problem. Well, I lost 3 in a row, was it? 3 prelims? And then they got the grand final last year.
Well, that's what happened with us as well. We lost three preliminary finals in a row, and then we made the 2001 grand final against Newcastle.
It would drive you fucking mad. I mean, I would probably go fucking mental. Drive you fucking mad. Really good win for the Eels tonight. Very important result over the Roosters. They needed to get this win just to shut up everyone about the Bulldogs loss and all that shit. So, really important win for Parramatta tonight. So, well done to Parramatta. They had a lot of fucking good players tonight, Parramatta. It's hard to pick a man in the match, to be honest with you, because there were a lot of great players out there tonight. But, Dean, from what you saw, who would you man the match be from the game?
I listened to the game on the radio, and a lot of people, well, especially the 3 commentators, said that Clint Gutherson was very good.
He was
throughout the game. I'd probably give it to Clint Gutherson.
That was probably Gutherson's best game in a few weeks, to be honest with you. I thought last week against the Bulldogs, he was really poor, but tonight he knew as the captain he had to step up, and he had a great game. But my man of the match, it's hard because there were so many that were good. I mean, I could give it to Gutherson, I could give it to Brown, I could give it to Campbell Gillard and Junior Paulo. Shaun Lane as well was also very fucking good tonight. But I'm going to give the man the match. I'm going to give it to Shaun Lane in the back row. Best game he's played in a few weeks. And I really thought Shaun Lane tonight caused all sorts of dramas. Obviously, he didn't score a try or anything like that. But just thought he was very good. Worked really hard and defended quite well. So Shaun Lane is my man of the match in the Eels. 26 points to 16 win over the Roosters. A very big win for the Eels tonight.
The thing with Shaun Lane as well is ever since he's come to the club, he's been very inconsistent.
That's been his biggest problem as well. Very, very inconsistent as well. And obviously the news today as well, Ryan Madison's apparently going to be staying at the Eels, Dean. Are you happy about that? Apparently he's about 600,000 a season, no?
I'm happy with it. It's a bit of a shock with Nathan Brown though, how he's got Ealing Woods left on the contract, and they've said you're not part of the plans of the future, and you're free to negotiate. Yeah.
I mean, I thought Nathan Brown off the bench coming on and playing as a front row would have been good. I mean, Oregon Confucius going to Cronulla next year. Papali'i's going to the Tigers. I would have thought they would have kept him off the bench or something, but they've told him to basically fuck off, haven't they?
It's nice to see a player staying for a change, because all I've been hearing for the last few months is, this player's going, this player's going. And then we're signing Josh Hodgins that's got two bad knees, and he's going to be 35.
Yeah, Reid Marnie's going to the Dogs and fucking all this drama.
I think that's the one that hurt the most.
Reid Marnie one.
Especially with who he's going to, our arch rivals. So
he's going to the fucking Bulldogs, and it is quite disappointing. But Ryan Madison's staying at Parramatta. I think it's a great thing. Obviously, the Dolphins were going really hard for him, and the Dolphins have missed out on another one. But I think Madison, $600,000 a season. I think that's a good price for Madison, and I think he'll be starting at lock every week. So it's good to see.
Aye.
Well, rugby league history. Dean, thanks for coming on the Saturday football review, mate. Appreciate your time today.
No bother, and I just thought I'd say that if you haven't already done so, then go and watch my podcast, The View from the North, with Just Rugby League. We've done about 8 episodes so far, so if you're into Super League and all the stuff over here, then it's something to watch.
It's a great listen. I enjoyed it the other day. I had a good listen to you guys talking about the England versus the combined All Stars, which is on in about 4.5 hours now, which is going to be good as well.
And the World Cup as well.
World Cup talk as well, with Tonga, and Tonga's only got one player born in Tonga in their actual squad next week in the Pacific Test as well, which is quite interesting. But mate, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
It's no bother. It's good to be on the show.
If you haven't subscribed to Rugby History, make sure you go and subscribe to him. He's on a fucking roll with subscribers, so everyone go and check him out. But anyway, guys, hope you all have a fantastic night. It's now 10:25 p.m. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sunday football review. 2 shit games, but hopefully they're interesting. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. Have a fantastic night, and see you guys in